4.03.60 and 12.00. The second scenario is the WebKit Poops test page, where the available pieces have been chained together. The third scenario is Gezine BD-JB5 demo. This is a Blu-ray userland entry point, so I'll burn the required disk and experiment with it on my PS5, running firmware 4.03. Finally, I'll test version 1.5.0 of its PS5 BD-JB autoloader. Also on firmware 4.03, this project builds on the Blu-ray entry point workflow and is designed to automate more of the payload loading process. Let's go ahead and jump straight into it, okay? So I just powered on my PlayStation 5 13.60, and from here, I'm just gonna go over here and go into the settings. And where we need to start with, we need to go over here to network settings. And then we're gonna go to set up internet connection. And right here, you can see I'm already connected on a wired LAN. But you can obviously just create a brand new connection if yours isn't listed here. And what I'm gonna do is, just gonna go over here to the advanced settings, and we're gonna change the DNS settings here from automatic to manual. And you're gonna want to make sure your primary DNS is set to 62, DOT to 10.38.17. Once you do that, and press OK, and it will be normal to see this screen right here. Now, once you've done that, go ahead and go back a couple of screens. And we're gonna go up to the guide and tips, health and safety, and other information. And we're gonna go over here to the user guide. And we are going to select yes on this screen. And so from here, there are a couple of sections that you can click on. But what we want to do is we want to come up here to the URL section here. We want to remove everything we see in here. And so what we're gonna put in here is just http://zec0x0.github.io/slopkit. And we're gonna press go here. And right there it is. And so we're just going to jump down here to where it says run. So let's press run now. And right there you go on a 13.60 POC sandbox escape was sent. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And I just wanted to share that with you. And yeah, I'm sitting over here on a 13.60 machine. And I just finished up Halo campaign involved. So anyways, pretty cool to see this progress happening on the very latest PlayStation 5, okay? So I just powered on a PlayStation 5 that is on 12.00. And we're gonna go ahead and give this a shot and see what happens. Now, I have went ahead and opened up a browser application that I use. But you could obviously use the method that I just showed you before. So let's go ahead and get this started, okay? So we're gonna go to zeco.github.io/slotkit. Just like we did before, and we're gonna hit done here. And right there it is. We can see it says run and see what happens right there. We can see POC PS5 Firmware 12.00 notification sent. So that looks really good. And really, it looks exactly like it looked just a second ago. Now that is to be expected. And I will say that at this point, it would probably be worthwhile to go ahead and run the slot kit too. So what I'll do here is I'll just go ahead and restart the system here where I'm not jailbroken. And we'll just go ahead and try the slot kit too, which has a few more improvements. But the biggest thing is that it now has integration with labs. And so let me just say this before we go any further. It is not known to be working. So at least at the time of this recording, this does not work. But I'm just gonna go ahead and give it an attempt as well, okay? So let's go ahead and go back over to media and then internet browser here. And we're gonna go to Slopkit. But this time, we're going to put a 2 at the very end of it. And now, once we do that, we can go ahead and go to done here. And then we'll just come over here and search, and right there it is. It says run, so we'll go ahead and press on the run button here. And this says Poopsploit PS5 Firmware 1 to DOTOO. But this one did not run successfully. So what I found that happens is that in just a few moments, it pops up this screen and we're going to say yes on that. And it just tries it again. And we can see down at the very bottom, this time it says reboot and try again. Now this is not working 100% at the moment. So what I would tell you would be just to go ahead and just keep watching the scene, because this is gonna happen within the next probably day or so. Gezine's new BD-JB5, which just came out. And if we go ahead and we scroll down into this, there is a little bit more information. So this is a PS5 Blu-ray disc driver, a sandbox escape, so this automatically supports remote jar loader, on-screen logging, and network logging. Now right here, before we go any further, this is a userland exploit, so you still need to chain it with a kernel exploit. So those of you that maybe has a 4.03 machine, you would have to chain this with labs. And I'll show you how to do this on a 4.03. But those of you on some of the higher firmware, maybe you're on a 12.7, you're absolutely gonna need to keep using patience to jailbreak. And it's gonna take about 45 minutes. Just like it always has, this is just a brand new entry point. Now looking into this, there is a few ways to turn on the logs, as well as it does tell you that remote jar loader is listening on port 9.025. So if we scroll down into this, you can see here it says to use at 13.60 and higher firmwares. It says you need an already jailbroken PlayStation 5. And well, at 13.60, there isn't a jailbreak available for it. Now, it does state here, if you had an already jailbroken PlayStation 5, you could send over bdj_unpatched.elf to unpatch bdj. And then again, the similar stuff that we've been doing in the past, where it just backs up some of the files, and then you're going to be able to use the BD-JB. Now, there is a little bit more information in here, but we're gonna scroll over and go to the releases. And what we can see is that there is an ISO release. So BD-JB5 to .0.ISO. So you will need to have a Blu-ray burner. And I would suggest going ahead and getting image burn downloaded and installed, and put a blank disk in the drive and go ahead and burn it. Now for those of you on 13.60, again, you would need to use this file, but it's really not usable at the moment. And then we have Poops for those of you that's under 12.00. Now again, you can run patience to jailbreak, but I'm just gonna show you the easiest path to success here today. Anyways, let's go ahead and switch over to the PlayStation 5 and get started. Okay, so I just powered up my PlayStation 5. And in this instance, I went ahead and powered up an older system that is on for 4.03. Mainly just because I wanted to be able to show you pretty quickly, and so what we will do here is went ahead and inserted the disk that we just burnt into the drive. And right there you can see it. It says BD-JB5 to DOTO by Gezine. So we'll go ahead and press play on this, okay. Right up there at the top, we can see BD-JB5 to .0 by Gezine triggering sandbox escape exploit. And then exploit success sandbox escape achieved. And we now have a jar loader listening over there on port 9.025. Now over here in the repo, you're going to find we've got a poops_1.8.jar. Now you will need a way to send that over. There's a tons of ways that you can do that through the command line, etc. But if you just come over here into the project, you can see that right here is one of the ways that you can use it, which is by running the log_client.py. Now, you can obviously do that, or you can just use one of my little tools that I built, called Universal Payload Sender. I just built this so it would work in a bunch of different operating systems. So we're going to come over here, and we are going to come into the releases, and download and send over that poops_1.8.jar. So just right over here, I've got my IP address of my PlayStation 5. And then I've got the port number, which is 9025, and for this machine, I'm just going to use Poopsploit. So I've just provided this jar file here. And now we're going to go send payload. And as you can see right there, all kinds of magic is happening as this one is now ready to go. Then picking up here from the top, you can see it says receiving jar. Jar received, and there it is running. Org bdj external.poops. And if we look down into this, you can see arbitrary read, write achieved, and then cleaned up U file after iterations. And then PS5 all-in-one jailbreak shell code by UFM42 OK. And so now if we go ahead and go back, if we go up and come over here to settings, and then scroll all the way down, right there we have got debug settings running. So anyways, this is very cool and amazing stuff that we were able to set up in just a few minutes. And so now if we wanted to do things like run our PlayStation backups, well, we could do that really easily because it has already spun up an autoloader. So now you can just point your port number to 90, 21, and then just go ahead and pick and download kstuff.elf. And if we send this payload over, and right there it is. Welcome to KStuff Lite 1.07. So now all of my backups would be working. So anyways, I just wanted to show you this on a 4.03. Obviously, if you are running this on a later firmware version, and you're using patience to jailbreak, you're still gonna have to wait the 45 minutes for the jailbreak to happen. So the last demo that I want to show you is running its PS5 BD-JB autoloader now in this instance. You won't have to use any sort of tools or utilities to send any of the payloads over. It uses something called Payload Manager. And so in order to get started with this, you will need to head over to this GitHub URL here, and then scroll down, and we're just gonna go ahead and burn this ISO image to a disk. Now I am using image burn, so I'm gonna go ahead and burn a disk of this, and then I'll pop it into my PlayStation 5 for .03 OK. So I'm just inserting the disk in the drive now, and right there it is. So you will see this one will state PS5 BD-JB autoloader version 1.5.0. We're going to hit play on this. And right there we can see that the jailbreak is complete. Just like that, we now have a jailbroken console. And right there it is loading up the Payload Manager app. So from here, I could go ahead and launch any sort of payloads that I wanted to. So things like KStuff we could add in and Shadow Mount Plus. Anyways, that is a very much improved version over using the standard one that comes off of the Gezine site. Anyways, I just wanted to explore each and every one of these with y'all today. So thanks again for watching, and don't forget to leave a comment down below and like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, Michael.